Help support our coverage using Blueberry, the community that gives creators the ability to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get 30 days to try out the service using promo code BLUBRRY004.
Well, our next guest is here. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I am great. Day 4, I'm feeling good.
Yep.
It's been a fantastic week.
You're hiding your watch so you're not looking at the time.
Yes.
That's why you have the sleeves
Long
on.
Long sleeves, exactly.
Obviously, we'll do intro in a second. Obviously, for those like who watch us, we say it all the time. It is our most and least favorite week of the year.
Right.
Right?
Totally.
It's so much fun. It's so great. And by this point, we're like, oh, my God, is it over yet? Exactly. And then next week, it's like, all right, is it CES yet?
Right. Where's the countdown? Where's the countdown?
Exactly. It really is. It's a ton of work, but it's a ton of fun.
Exactly.
As well.
It's exhausting, but yeah, well worth it on all fronts. And the people you meet, yeah, it's just so
100%. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, audience. My name is Allie Fried. I am a spokesperson for CES, and I think this is almost my 20th show, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it kind of all week. It's our 16th time doing the live show.
Amazing.
We started in 2010 doing the live show in Central Hall. NBC Universal allowed us to do the show, right?
Yes.
They had their
Central
little
Hall.
thing.
Yep.
You could sign up, and we signed up. It was Todd Cochran and Jeffrey Powers and Andy McCaskey.
Amazing.
And they did it with like a webcam and a couple of wireless mics. Over the years, we got to the point where we were shipping 20 cases of equipment, and now we're back down to a couple of cameras and a couple of mics. But the picture quality has changed ridiculously.
Thank you, technology, right?
Because something this small 15 years ago would have been garbage picture quality.
Yeah, nothing. You'd have nothing.
And now,
for outlines.
I
feel like we look great.
Yeah, this is great quality, and I can put it in a backpack. It's wild.
Amazing. It's amazing. Yay. Yay, technology. We've made it.
So how has this show been? I know we don't get official numbers or anything like that until the audit, but how's it been looking?
I know. It's been great, though. So, I mean, last year we had about 130,000 attendees.
Was it 130?
Yep.
Okay.
We're not giving numbers, but it's looking very much like we have surpassed 130,000 people, which is amazing, from 150 countries. So kind of that whole global perspective is just live and well, and you feel the energy and the buzz.
Yeah.
Back up to massive square footage, 2.5 million net square feet of space, which explains why my feet this morning were like, please don't make me do it again. Please don't make me do it. I have different shoes every day, and they're all just saying.
And none of them are working.
None of them are working. So just a massive footprint. About 2,500 companies as well, which is so cool. And they're companies from, the big, huge Amazons, Googles, Panasonics, LGs, down to what's right below us, Eureka Park, the mom and pop and startup stories, which today, to be very honest, was my first time getting a chance to walk through there. I have been dying to get there because usually I start my show at Eureka Park. It is just hands down my favorite.
It's why when you guys offered us to move to the Venetian from the North Hall where we used to be, we said yes.
Yeah.
Because it used to be Central Hall was where things were happening. Now, this is where things are happening.
Truly. I mean, Central Hall is like, the visual, like, oohs and ahs, and you've got the screens and the movements. But when you're actually looking at, like, oh, wow, what's really going to, make a difference in my life? Eureka Park.
We sent our new team members over to Central Hall and, West Hall and all that to see it yesterday.
Yeah.
And they came back, they're like, okay, I get it. The booths are bigger. Right?
Right. Yes.
And, from our perspective, okay, Samsung announced a new television. Okay.
Right.
That's fine.
Right. It's great. Yay.
Of course
amazing.
they were going to announce a new television.
Right.
But they didn't announce a robotic dog intended for Alzheimer's patients, right?
Right.
That's
wild.
It's a totally different kind of a thing.
Exactly. Speaking of that, have you seen, the AI baby panda?
No.
I was holding. Okay. It's literally been modeled to be like a 6-month-old baby panda, same size, shape, weight, and movements, features, and it literally can sense your emotions and respond. So same thing, kind of like a companion situation. And at first I was like, oh, okay, neat. And then it got turned on, and I was like holding it, and you hear its little heartbeat, and it syncs to you, and it was like it's a true emotional connection happening. So yeah, crazy, just impactful,
Yeah.
like
super cool
us
stuff.
as humans. Yes.
And some of it we always say. We used to do the Collision conference that used to be here.
Oh yeah.
And we always kind of compare Eureka Park to the Collision conference, and Collision, everything's kind of mad scientist phase. And 90% of it will never come to market,
right.
But things from it will, right? They've
Absolutely.
got patents and ideas, and those things turn into what's downstairs.
Yes.
That's the next
Yes.
level. They pitch their crazy ideas at Collision, and then once that comes to pass, it shows up in Eureka Park.
Exactly. And then it shows up in our houses.
Indeed. Yeah.
No, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I
Speaking
got
of
to go down there literally like an hour and a half ago, because you get to or have to, depending on how you look at it,
a little bit of both.
all over the show.
Yeah.
I basically don't leave this little square of blue carpet.
It's lovely up here, though. I think it's at this vantage point.
We always say we have the best view in the show.
No, this is beautiful.
This is
yeah.
fantastic.
I
And
love it.
this side, because we moved from the other
Yes,
wall.
yeah.
We've been over there for the last 10 years.
I was going to say, yeah.
They moved
that's
us
what I
over
remember.
here for the first time, and we were a little worried.
It's great.
We definitely have some neighbors that we were concerned about being in our shot, only because of the family-friendly network that we are.
I may or may not have heard about that.
Luckily, Robbie was nice enough to give me Tower A when I asked. She's
Thank
like,
you,
no
Robbie.
problem. She emailed me in July to make sure that the tower was going to be okay over here, and I'm like,
love it.
I'm going to need eggs. I see who's around.
Yeah.
No worries, you got whatever
See,
you need.
but you are a pro because you know to look at that map and see what's happening around.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, hands down.
I feel bad for CNBC and Fox who were in the other tower, but that's not my
It'll be
problem.
fine. It's not your problem.
But yeah, we have the best view, and
It's
over
gorgeous.
here,
Yep.
we really do get a great shot of the floor. I
Amazing.
like this location.
I do too. Beautiful.
Our shot back here is really great.
Let's keep it going.
So
Let's keep
I've
it going.
got some questions that have
Okay.
been coming from the audience.
Oh, okay, audience.
So 2.5 million square feet.
Yes.
So the question is, what does that include? Does that include the meeting rooms at Mandalay Bay or not? Does that include just booth exhibitor space? Are the Venetian Towers included in that? What does that 2.5 include?
Okay, very good question.
We've been asked several times this week what that number is.
Very good question. Okay, so it is anything that has an exhibition on it. So private meeting rooms that like public cannot get to does not count.
Okay.
Press conference space at Mandalay Bay does not
Okay.
count.
And so those-
Aisleways.
And so those big meeting rooms at Mandalay Bay, like where Microsoft usually sets up and stuff like that.
Right.
That's not included?
No. Aisles do not count.
Oh, wow.
Registration areas do not count.
Okay.
So it's
So-
so that we can make sure that we are very consistent year after year in reporting that it's like, okay, here are the parameters.
Okay.
It has to be exhibit space, show floor exhibit space.
So in this building, gray carpet counts, blue carpet doesn't, basically is the way
Correct.
it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's perfect.
Okay.
Got a color-coded system.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. So blue is mostly pass-through and gray is mostly exhibit space. It's not entirely that because the main hall is gray. But for the most part, like that's
Right.
kind of the way it breaks
Yeah.
down.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay.
Perfect.
And it works that way across all the halls.
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Great question. Great question.
It has been asked several times because Kirk and I talk about the size of the show and how it's grown from the like 1.5 that I remember
Right.
many years ago,
Right.
before we took over Mandalay Bay and all this stuff, to the and before the West Hall existed
West
and
Hall
all
is
that.
massive.
It's
It does
crazy.
also include, I should say, the outdoor exhibit space in front of like LVCC.
courtyard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that, because we've got the booths out there. Although
Yeah.
construction has really kind of dampered that section.
I have no idea what that looks like because again,
We're right here.
yeah, I had to go tell some companies downstairs to come up at 2:00 for the awards, and that's the only time I've really left this little circle.
I had to walk, stretch my legs. It was great.
I still do 10 or 12 miles, and I almost never
Impressive.
leave the blue
It's amazing.
carpet here. Oh, and the stairs? The stairs are a killer for us.
I feel like I come back from CES in great shape. It's just like that daily movement. It's all good.
My watch is dead by like 3.
No longer functioning.
Yeah,
Thanks for playing, right?
That's how bad it is.
Yeah,
By 3, my watch is like, yeah, we're done. That's it.
It's been lovely.
Yeah.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Sorry about that.
Right.
Hopefully you got your phone in your pocket if you want any of the stats, because that's the only way you're getting them.
Got to get creative with it.
So, you mentioned the Panda. Anything else you've seen out there that you were just like...
Okay, so this I literally just saw, on the way up here. And because one of my friends and colleagues was like, you have to see this. So it was in the Dutch Pavilion.
Okay.
And they...
Always a good place.
I know. And they are converting sound into energy, which I thought was pretty incredible. So their demo is basically like, it's, hooked up to a light and you talk you talk into it and it powers the light up.
What?
And so they're talking about like use cases in subways, concert stadiums, airplanes. You literally use the sound CES of what? What? No, it's bananas. Like literally the implications for it are wild. Are wild. And they capture sound waves differently than sound decibels. And then there was a third different one, and they all had different levels of power.
Wow.
But it was just something that I was like, that makes so much sense and is very, very, very cool.
We had a cool one in the same vein on the show yesterday.
Okay.
That uses waves, like water waves.
Like the ocean.
Yes. So I think he said it was 3 meters wide and like 16 meters tall.
Okay.
And it was able to produce the same amount of energy as a 20,000 square meter, 10,000 square meter.
Let's go
conservative and say 10,000 square meter solar farm.
Oh my gosh.
With one device.
See, I just love that. I just love that.
Yeah, and
the sun creative here.
The sun's only out half the day.
Right.
The waves are going all the time.
Right. Exactly.
Wild.
And we have so much water on this planet. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not going to do us a ton of good in Vegas.
No, that's okay.
But
that's okay.
California, Oregon, Washington, Florida, Texas. We've got all this space that has all, and I don't think it has to be on the coast.
No.
I think it could be further out.
That's amazing. Oh, I love that.
Super cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
We've had some really good guests this year.
Have you seen it basically, so accessibility is, we're seeing like a lot more in the way of accessible tech. And I think that has been very cool. Yes. So the headpiece that they describe it as a seeing eye dog for you through haptic feedback.
Dot Lumen.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been on the show the last couple years.
Oh my god.
He's awesome, and he won the U.S. Army pitch contest yesterday.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about him because he had me do a demo, and literally it was a crowded aisle. I put this thing on, I closed my eyes, and you just follow where it tells you to go, and I didn't bump into anything.
I was literally telling Aviva about this like 2 nights ago when we were waiting for a car.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, it's because everybody looked at me. All the people who hadn't encountered them before looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, no, seriously. It's gentle and it's so clear.
Literally.
When it does it, you feel the desire to go that way. You don't even have to tell yourself, oh, that's a tap to the right, go to the right. There's something about it that's just so natural.
That's a great way to describe it. It was, yeah.
You don't have to think, okay, when something happens on the left, go left.
Right.
When it happens, you just do it.
Going. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like somebody walking behind you and tapping you on the temples.
Literally.
But
I loved it.
But not in a weird way.
No,
it's
it wasn't
totally
invasive.
Yeah.
It wasn't, shocking or jarring. It was very
And he's on the market now. He's actually out there. Last year and the year before when he's brought it, it's been in various prototype phases. This year he is out there. People are using it.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's super cool.
People are so smart at this show.
And one of the things,
brilliant.
One of the things we love to do that we get the opportunity to do is to follow these journeys. right?
Yeah.
Because this was his 3rd time on the show.
Right.
3 in a row.
Growing.
And every year we get to watch the progress. And, great example, kind of everybody at CES knows Robbie Cabral from Benji Lock.
Right. Right.
He's a brand ambassador
Like
for the
yes,
CTA now.
Exactly.
When he started, he was downstairs, and he had a non-functional, I think, wooden prototype.
I think he did.
And nobody paid him any attention.
No.
We did. We did an interview with him. But nobody paid him any attention. And now, he's nearly the face of CES.
Right.
Everybody that wears a CES jacket.
I was gonna say, yeah, my badge is gone.
Everybody knows him.
Of course, yeah. He's make sure you talk about that story.
Indeed, because and so we got to watch him go from nothing to Shark Tank to kind of the face of CES. It's
awesome.
It's such a success story.
Yeah.
We've gotten to literally follow from the beginning to where he is now.
I love it.
And he's partnering up with a company in our area, so we actually.
Ooh, there we go.
So that's fantastic.
Share the love.
Yeah.
So good. It's so good.
And in our product category, because
doesn't get much better than
it's
that.
stuff that we use to ship our equipment. So it's
perfect.
It's fantastic. I don't know how public his information is. I know things.
So we'll be careful with what we say. It's great. It's all good.
I know things that aren't necessarily public with him, but we've become friends over all this time.
Yeah.
And same thing with Dot Lumen. We've become friends.
Amazing.
How did I invite him on the show? I sent him a message on LinkedIn.
Right.
Hey, bud.
Right. Well,
Don't forget to get on the show.
Yeah,
Because
we'll be
I know
here.
you're out in the wild now.
The wild. I love. But that is what I love so much about CES. It's the people.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It really is. And you see these, it's people you don't see all year long. And you see them at CES and it's just no time has passed.
Exactly.
It feels like such a reunion.
Uh-huh.
And,
It's kind of like summer camp. That's how we've talked about it in the past.
Yeah.
Kind of like summer camp. You get to see each other 1 week a year.
Right. And you're exhausted during it and you're just doing all the camp activities.
But you're also having a ton of fun.
The best time.
Yeah. It's your 1 week sleepaway summer camp.
I love it. And I'm always amazed because the show, we talked about, is so huge. And I'm how it's possible to end up seeing so many people here.
Yeah.
It makes me so happy.
Right.
My heart feels
how
so
is
happy.
it that we're in this weird corner over here that's perfect for us? How is it that we're over here and I still see tall boy walk by, or I see right. Even though it's such a huge show.
So huge.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
I
got a text message from my 5th grade teacher who was on site, who I hadn't seen in years and years.
Oh my God.
And she was here with her brother who is blind and has Down syndrome, and he was going to one of the accessibility tech sessions to showcase, they had been invited to showcase all the products that could be useful to people with intellectual and physical disabilities, plus their caregivers. And she texted me, and I ran over to see her, and she was just in tears over how impactful the technologies were. So it was very cool. It just touches everything.
Yeah, and the wide variety of things, right?
Everything.
There's a little bit of everything. Something for everybody.
Something for everybody. Every industry represented.
Absolutely.
It's all good.
And something that can and will affect everybody shows up here.
Yep, in some way, shape, or form. No matter what you need, no matter what challenges you're trying to overcome, from drought to physical abilities, people are excited down there.
So there's a strength competition of some sort.
Okay. I was are we okay?
that if you accomplish whatever the thing is, you get 10 grand.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So people are.
Do I need to go check this out?
It was 10, right, Barker?
It was 3.
Oh, it was 3? Okay.
You have to run on a treadmill, and you have to go you have to beat 24 miles an hour.
Wait, you have to beat 24 miles an hour?
Yeah, it's a device that helps you run a little bit faster.
Oh.
Okay, but 24 miles an hour is insane.
It is. But people have been trying it all week.
So I ran track and cross country in college.
See?
I was a distance runner, not really a sprinter, but maybe I need to go give this a try.
See, we learned something.
$3,000?
We learn something about you every year.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame. And I grew up in Las Vegas. I don't know if you knew that either. It's my hometown.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, 2 new facts.
Yeah.
What will next year bring, right?
Say all these years we've known each other
Right?
and still learning new stuff.
I love it. I love it.
So tell the audience how they can find out about like the stats when they come out and all of that.
Yes. So like I said, we love consistency and we love numbers and we love to be able to report accurately. So we are a fully audited show. That audit typically comes out in late March or early April, and it details absolutely everything, full attendee numbers, full square footage numbers, breakdown of exhibitors by country and product category. It also is an awesome breakdown of the attendees. So you see how many C-suite executives were here, how many from each industry, and then title-wise too, because it's a really powerful show when you look at the people that are here and the decision makers that are here.
Yeah.
And the average attendee has 29 meetings while on site.
Was that all?
Per day? No. But it's a business-only event, and they are here to rock and roll with their business. So mid to late spring, the audit will come out, and we'll make sure to get it out to you guys and put it on the website. CES.tech is the website for the show. CTA.tech is the website for the association. And obviously all of our social channels have been capturing content all week, and then we will continue throughout January and the rest of the year to make sure that the momentum is rocking and rolling.
And that's the thing that, like, from a consumer standpoint, the people who watch this, they know about CES.
Right.
But the trade organization behind it that we talk about often, the trade organization behind it is the engine that makes this possible.
Yes.
And it's also the engine that makes things like 4K TV possible, because you guys standardized the naming
Standards.
and
Exactly.
all kinds, because it was 4K, it was UHD, it was this, it was that,
all over the place.
And the CTA is the organization that said no, let's decide on a name and let's use it universally.
Yep.
And the entire industry gets behind it.
Exactly. Let's standardize this. Yeah, we've got more than 2,500 member companies, and the goal is just to make sure that there is an environment where technology and innovation can thrive. So there's a big policy piece, there's a huge tech and standards piece, there's working groups so that, like-minded people can get together and solve problems in specific areas, all kinds of networking. It's a pretty great place.
We actually threatened on our show to create a group within the CTA, because there was this problem where laptops were all coming out 1366. Resolution, which was nonsense.
You're like not here for that.
And so we actually pitched through our shows the idea of creating a group called the Mobile HD Screen Alliance or something like that within the CTA, and that threat alone of pressure within the CTA was enough that within like 6 months you weren't seeing 1366s anymore. Like just the
powerful, right?
Just the threat of the CTA getting behind an idea was enough to get the industry on board.
Gary Shapiro doesn't mess around.
No, he doesn't.
And we have now Kinsey Fabrizio so Gary was our president and CTO, and now Kinsey has stepped in as president and Gary CTO. So now two very powerful leaders at the helm. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kinsey has been with CTA we started almost the same time. So 17, 18 years. Mm-hmm. She started in membership. So she got to know
everybody.
All of our got to know everyone. And has worked her way up and is now, president of the Consumer Technology Association, Kinsey Fabrizio. She was on the keynote stage with Gary. It's been amazing to watch her career just take off. I'm just so proud of her. So excited.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that allows him to focus on one aspect and allow her to focus on something else.
Exactly.
Trying to do both, especially at the scale of what the CTA has become.
Yeah.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's a lot for one person.
Well, as always, my friend, it's great to get to talk to you.
Same.
And it's been too long
since
we've gotten to do because we always talk downstairs.
Right, but doing it for real.
Yeah. And I'm glad that Pam was able to send you over this year.
Thank you. Love being here.
See you.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you later.
Okay. I will.
The Tech Podcast Network's CES 2025 coverage is executive produced by Adam Barker. Technical director is Kirk Corliss. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Tracy Ingram, Xerxes Goddard, Brandy Jackson, and Aviva Cram. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Bain, and Scott Ertz. studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. The TPN studio executive is Todd Cochran. This has been a Tech Podcast Network production, copyright 2025.